That's good, Broncos!
Happy birthday to Spencer O'Neill from Twitter, who asked me if he could get a birthday shout out. That was it. Welcome to That's Good Broncos. I am Brandon Perna, and today I am breaking down the matchup between the Broncos and Titans, and I will predict a winner by the end of this episode. But first, let me play this interview I did with Titans quarterback Marcus Mariota. Oh, that's right. I didn't interview him, ever. I don't know why I thought that. That's Good Broncos. This episode is sponsored by Charlotte's Web Hemp Oil. Make sure to check them out at cwhemp.com. Use my promo code, That's Good. I use hemp oil. It has helped me with lower back problems. It's helped the inflammation and with pain management. If you hate taking pills, putting a bunch of nasty shit in your body, hemp oil might be a solution for you. After the Chiefs beat the Raiders on Thursday Night Football, the Broncos, with a win in Tennessee, will be one game behind both teams. The problem is, at 6-6, the Titans are in a three-way tie for first place in the AFC South, and in my opinion, may be the best team in that division. The Texans are on a 3-game skid mark, and I believe either the Colts or Titans will end up on top. This is important because if the Titans do win that division and the Broncos end up with a wild card spot, these two teams could be playing again wild card weekend. This game is in Tennessee, so half point for the Titans for home field advantage. And to help us this week is the incredible movie Troll 2.
Goblins don't need to justify their cruel acts.
Gary Kubiak versus Mike Mularkey. I don't know a lot about Mularkey except that I don't think he's ever gotten a fair shake as head coach. He coached at the Head in Buffalo for a season or two and one season in Jacksonville after Del Rio left. I believe Tennessee is a team on the rise, and I hope Mularkey gets a fair chance to shape the team. The biggest difference is he now has a quarterback to help him with that. If Tennessee can become more consistent on both sides of the ball, they could be a very dangerous team in the playoffs. Gary Kubiak has been doing the quarterback shuffle for almost 2 full seasons, which is the least fun of all shuffles. Just like last year, the guy he wants behind center is battling through injuries. Trevor Siemian did practice this week, and after Lynch did not look comfortable against the Jags, Kubiak will have a tough decision to make come Sunday. Because of what little I know about Mike Mularkey, I call this a tie. My ignorance works in the Broncos' favor. Troll 2, lay out your cinematic genius.
As she really was, horrible and mocking.
Marcus Mariota in ball catchers versus Broncos secondary. No fly zone. No flying in the secondary of the Broncos. No fucking fly zone. Marcus Mariota does not have elite receivers, but Rashard Matthews and Kendall Wright are reliable targets. They also have a guy named Tajay Sharp, who, if he wore the number 84 instead of 19, would be a Pro Bowl Hall of Fame receiver. I'm confident that Talib, Harris, and Roby can cover Tennessee's wideouts, but this may be one of the most important matchups in the game because of tight end Delanie Walker and DeMarco Murray catching passes out of the backfield. Brandon Marshall's hamstring injury is acting up, and he's been ruled as out, which puts the pressure on TJ Ward and Darian Stewart to help in coverage against the tight ends and running backs. Denver has improved over the last 2 weeks in limiting opposing teams' tight end success. The thing Mariota does well, besides not turn the ball over, especially in the red zone, is spread the ball around like butter to his bread, which are his receivers. If Tennessee has a big day through the air, it will be because Delanie Walker is making plays. However, I have to roll with the Broncos' greatest team strength and give the secondary a half-point advantage.
Elliot's not my beau. He's my boyfriend.
Tennessee running backs and O-line versus Broncos front seven. The bad news for the Broncos is this may be the best offensive line and running back group they have faced since playing the Raiders. I'd say the Raiders' line is a little bit better than Tennessee's, but that DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry are quite a bit better than the Oakland backfield. DeMarco Murray is the second leading rusher in the NFL with 1,043 yards on the ground, which trails only Ezekiel Elliott. Derrick Henry only has 312 rushing yards, but is averaging 4.5 yards per carry and ran through the Chicago Bears defense the last time he played for 60 yards on 8 attempts. But wait, there's more. Marcus
Mariota
has rushed for 310 yards himself and scored 7 touchdowns. 7 rushing touchdowns this season. That ties Booker, Bibbs, and Anderson's rushing total all combined. The reason their rushing attack works is due to the offensive line. Taylor Lewan, Quentin Spain, Ben Jones, Josh Klein, Jack Conklin. Not only form a strong, cohesive unit, they all have easy names to say, which I appreciate. I love this line. Not really, I hope they play like shit Sunday, but they probably won't, which means Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware / Shane Ray may not get the pressure we're used to seeing. I say that because in week 3, Khalil Mack did nothing against this line. He did jack shit. As mentioned, Brandon Marshall is out, and I believe Todd Davis and Corey Nelson have gotten better as the season has progressed. Davis will be needed against the run, and Nelson needs to have his best game of the year in coverage. I wish I liked this matchup for the Broncos, but their defensive line has not dominated like it did last season, and I don't think this is the week that it starts. Tennessee gets a small 0.25 advantage here. Troll 2, show us your glory. Special teams versus special teams. First, I want to offer a personal apology to Brandon McManus, who seemed angry with me in the Broncos locker room for saying fuck the gooch. I hope Brandon knows that was not aimed at him, and that the gooch is in fact just the goalposts. Has nothing to do with you, Brandon. Brandon, not only do we share the same name, Brandon, but you are my best friend on the team, Brandon, and maybe my best friend in real life. I'm also sorry that Riley Dixon won the BDP award before you did this season, but I have a feeling you will win it when it counts the most. Super Bowl 51, and 52, and 53, and 54, and 55. But in 55, you will be playing quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, so well deserved. Denver gets a half-point advantage here. Khalif Raymond appears to be an upside as a punt returner. McManus is better than Ryan Suckup, and former Broncos punter Brett Kern is a living example of why Josh McDaniels was a disaster in Denver. Kern was cut mid-season by McDipshit, and Kern is in his 8th season for the Titans. So thank you, Brett Kern, for reminding us how shitty Josh McDaniels was. Broncos running backs and O-line versus Titans front 7. This game is strange in terms of predicting because Tennessee's defense gives up points, but not rushing yards. They are good at pass rushing, but allow a lot of passing yards. They're tied at 7 with 30 sacks on the season. That trails Denver by 6 sacks, and their strength is up front. Brian Orakpo has 9 sacks this season. Derek Morgan has 8. And on that line, Jarrell Casey and Carl Klug are very disruptive. If Denver had Casey and Klug on their D-line at right end and nose tackle, they'd be destroying offenses on all levels. They're also 7th against the run, allowing 92.3 yards per game. I believe the front 7 is the strength on this side of the ball, and our old friend Wesley Woodyard is still trucking at the linebacker position. I expect him to have more success than the last time these two teams met when Peyton Manning picked the Titans apart. Last week, I thought the offensive line did a better job at protecting the quarterback. Kapri Bibbs was finding running lanes before spraining his ankle, but Devontae Booker had a very poor showing, averaging 1.9 yards per carry. He needs to improve drastically, and maybe watching Justin Forsett will help. I think Forsett is the Broncos' last hope to really make a strong playoff push. If he can be successful behind this line, it will open up a lot for this offense. Matt Paradis is currently ranked as the best center in the NFL and overall as the second best offensive lineman in the NFL. What's weird is that the two guys playing next to him, Garcia and Schofield, aren't taking advantage of his stellar play. Usually, if a center is great, it makes at least one guy on one of the sides also look great. I have hope, but Tennessee gets a half-point advantage here. Troll 2, do your thing.
Yeah.
Simeon or Lynch and ball catchers versus Titans secondary. Again, tough to predict. Is this secondary average, or did they just have a slow start to the season? The Titans have 11 interceptions in 2016. The Broncos have 12. Despite the 11 picks, the Titans give up 270 passing yards per game, which is 7th worst. Tennessee's lucky number is 7. 7th worst against the pass, 7th best in sacks, and 7th best against the run. Bryce McCain, Jason not Devin McCourty, Kevin Byard, and Daenerys Cersei Lannister all play respectable football in the secondary. My problem is Daenerys Cersei. I went with the Cersei Lannister joke, but could have easily went with Daenerys is the new cool hip version of Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris and Duh Norris star in the new CBS hit comedy with Matt LeBlanc, 3 men with a kick-ass plan to kick ass. Trevor Siemian is officially listed as questionable. Whether he plays or not depends on his mobility. If Paxton Lynch plays, I feel like the Broncos will lose. He was not good last week, and rarely do quarterbacks make dramatic improvements in 1 week. Siemian, if he's mobile, can beat the Titans, but if he's stuck in the pocket, fearing his foot injury, well, we've seen how he plays when he can't move around. The Broncos receivers refused to talk to the media last week after the game. And even though I'm not media, I refuse to talk about them today. I will congratulate Virgil Green for being nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. That's fucking awesome, Virgil, and I hope to see him make some more plays along with AJ Derby this weekend. But the Titans get a 0.25 advantage because I don't know who the Broncos fucking quarterback will be this weekend. Troll on.
Joshua?
So, the Titans have the point advantage. The Broncos have to travel to the East Coast for the 2nd week in a row to play an early game. I don't like the matchup, and I hate that Trevor Siemian is hurt. I honestly feel like this is a game that the Broncos will lose. Now, despite my scientific evidence for my prediction method, despite my gut feeling saying that the Broncos will lose, I am picking the Broncos to win this game, and for 2 illogical reasons. First, I noticed a pattern for the Titans dating back to October. They do this: win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, which means they are due for a loss. They're coming off a bye week, so that might fuck up everything I just said. I don't know how the bye factors into that pattern. Also, as mentioned, their lucky number is 7. John Elway is 7th, and he runs the Broncos. His luck trumps Tennessee's, and somehow the Broncos win this game by 7 points, 27-20. Broncos win against not all, but some odds. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Broncos. Make sure you subscribe here. Give me a follow on Twitter at Brandon Perna, and go support my friends at CWHemp.com. And as always, make sure you check out the best Denver Broncos blog on earth, Mile High Report.